fall. So here we go again. It's a race to cut ties. The mental hopscotch has got us feeling paralyzed.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to World 101 Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie V. Joining me is the red Nordic velvet cake boss man himself, Big Papa, Mr. Larry Giver.
Doesn't come any more moist than cake. Moist.
Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. I have to get closer when we just told me, and me and Larry were still talking about some things. Hopefully our Connexican.
I will share on our Facebook page the meme that we were just talking about, and you'll see what's got him all laughy and giggly. Because I was on a roll the other night making stupid memes and shit. So I'll post it when this post goes up, and you all can look at it and go, ah!
Hopefully, our Connexican, Mr. Adrian Nieto, will be here soon. He's trying to make it. He's running a little bit late, but hope to have him on the show. We just actually have a random show. This is just a discussion show, just talking about various things. Nothing really planned.
We don't plan shit.
Yeah. I do have a quick indie watch. Playtonic, they did update everybody about Yooka-Laylee. They're planning for quarter one of 2017 for a release for PC and consoles. And Playtonic is actually working on the Wii U version while they have another company working on everything else. So that's kind of good to hear. I'm glad that they're putting that dedication in it. Bloodstain is going to be having a demo for those who are backers for that game. So that'll be sometime next week. And for right now, that's the only indie watch thing that I have. We might touch on No Man's Sky, but that also did get delayed to August. So the controversy surrounding that with him, the creator, getting death threats, we might talk about that a little bit later. Cause man, a lot of stuff got delayed to 2017, and I'm not worried, but I'm kind of happy because that actually sets me for the first half of the year. But we're gonna get into what we actually been playing. Larry, what have you been playing?
Larry got his early Father's Day present. He's been without his 360 for about a year at this point, with a shelf full of games staring at him going, haha, you can't play me, fucker. So I've been going back, and you'll probably be hearing from me for months from now, playing old Xbox 360 shit and rediscovering all the joy again. I started digging into a good handful of Left 4 Dead 2 earlier this week, just as, something that I can jump in and out of in a matter of, an hour, play a section or two and be done. And then a couple days ago, I started re-falling in love with fucking BioShock again. And I know I've talked about my fix for making BioShock 1 perfect. I did talk about that, right? The Andrew Ryan scene?
Yes.
Okay. So that's my fix for making the game itself perfect. I've got a few niggling issues with it. My biggest one, though, is the map. Holy fuck's sake, the map system is terrible. I'm sorry, years ago, Retro Studios was doing 3D map systems way fucking better with Prime. You should have just stolen that shit. But beyond that, there are other very steep comparisons to the Metroid series when you get into BioShock 1 and 2 that have always struck me that nobody else has ever really made the comparisons. But I will say BioShock 1 is very much like the first Metroid Prime in the fact that it's this big open world thing where you can, always go back into all the other sections and, collect all the power-ups and everything, and there's parts of that you can't get to until you come back with, certain upgrades later. Oh, it was really well done. That being said, I think BioShock 1 and BioShock 2 are like photo negatives of each other. Exact opposites. Because BioShock 1, the first 2 acts of the game are great. The final act, the game kind of fucking falls flat with the ending. Which was a great disappointment to me. But given as much awesome as you got throughout, it's kind of excusable. On the other hand, you get into BioShock 2, and BioShock 2 is kind of the equivalent of Metroid Fusion, because you get one chunk of, area to play through at a time, and it's very linear, and once you're done with that chunk, you can never go back. So, you make damn sure you get everything before you move on. But the other thing that makes BioShock 2 the exact opposite of BioShock 1 is not only the linear to open world aspect, but also in terms of story delivery. Because the first 2 acts of BioShock 2, the story delivery is fucking terrible. It just drip feeds you just enough to keep you going, but you get to the final act and fuck me, it's amazing. It did everything that BioShock 1 didn't, but at the same time it failed where BioShock 1 succeeded. But that being said, that'll probably be coming next week, because I'll be playing more of that. My wife loves to sit and watch me play, and the baby is now enamored with it too, actually. She loves sitting and watching me kill zombies and, shoot up splicers and run through BioShock. She gets absolutely fucking fascinated. It's really cool. But anyways, so that's part of what's been playing. I've been playing little nibblings of other live arcade games, because it's taken me over a week to re-download all my shit from, Xbox Live that I've had downloaded. It's still trying to download the last 15 games of my collection on live. So, and I sent you a message when I started this, Monday last week.
Yeah.
And so, but in any case, I've been playing a little bit of, what the hell was it? Marble Blast Ultra. Way fucking throwback on the 360 to launch.
Yeah.
Oh god, a few other odds and ends, a little bit of Castle Crashers, because you can never go wrong with that shit. But things like that. Geometry Wars 2. I'm still pissed because for all the years that I've had it, I've still been trying to get the one achievement, the wax off achievement in pacifism, and I can't fucking do it. So it's one of those things that gets under my skin once every, so often, and I try it for a couple hours and I put it down and I don't ever think about it again until the next time. So, but in any case, that's a lot of what's been on my plate. I'm actually getting to play some things too, because the 360 is now located upstairs in the bedroom where I'm spending most of my time because the baby's there. I'm realizing that my theater room is probably going to go mostly unused for probably the next year or two until, things change a little with the baby and she's a little bit older. So I also drug the Wii U upstairs. I just haven't hooked it up yet. So I will probably be playing more stuff again as we fall into a routine with the baby, which is phenomenal because it's been driving me nuts not playing shit. So, but the baby seems to enjoy it. So I can only fathom how much she's going to love staring at Mario Kart 8 when I hook my Wii U up upstairs. So it's lots of bright colors and, fun sounds and motion, and she loves it.
Nice. Sorry about that. For me, I've actually got up with some of my old friends. I call them my brothers. And we played SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 for PlayStation 3. And boy, we was just we didn't know the controls, but we was having such a comedic moment because weird stuff was happening to the game with our characters, and we just what in the world are these controls? When we got to the character select, it didn't have no women because we was playing on my PlayStation 3, so it was all brand new data. And we was just what in the world is this game? So we played that for a couple of hours, and then I let my friends try out Army of Two, the Devil's Cartel, and that became a comedic moment because my friend was talking about grenades. Who needs a grenade? It was just throwing grenades and messing around, and we were just there cracking up.
Did you play the first Army of Two?
I played a little bit of it. I beat 2 and 3, but I didn't beat 1.
Okay. Did the other two have the same? Because I never got to play them. Did the other two have that same sense of humor that the first one did? Because I liked the humor in the first one.
The second one did, and a little bit of the third one, because the third one was 2 new characters. But they had some comedic moments in it. They had some dialogue on it that was just oh wow, why did y'all put this in? Like, it was so bad, so terrible, and I'm just like, why? But I mean, there was moments in the game that they would say something that would be funny. The Devil's Cartel, it was good. I think two was better. I will give the Devil Cartel like props, like as the second one. I tried a little bit of the first game, and I seen all the problems with it, and I was just like, yeah, this game is very difficult. And because that was an era that EA thought they was just still the big stuff, and it was just like, I know what y'all trying to do, but no, it just wasn't working out.
That was an era, though, where EA was actually kind of hitting on all cylinders because they had a bunch of fresh IPs coming out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the same time that fucking Mirror's Edge and Dead Space were coming out, along with,
Right.
Army of Two. So they actually had a slew of new, fresh IPs coming out. And for the most part, they're all good. I do want to talk about, because you were talking about the dialogue on Army of Two.
Yes.
This is one of the rare cases because I swear like a fucking sailor, and I like my profanity. I like it uncensored. Don't mess with it. However, this is a rare case. I distinctly remember one of the trailers, one of the very first trailers for Army of Two, and they had the profanity in there, except it was bleeped out. And suddenly, for some reason, I think it just has to do with the delivery and kind of the ridiculousness of it, the pure absurdity of the dialogue. That game would have been funnier if they had left all the profanity bleeped, because in the trailer, all the bleeped profanity somehow made it more hysterical, and it got less funny when they actually stopped bleeping it in the actual game.
Uh-huh.
I want a patch for that game where I can bleep the profanity because it made it funnier to me.
Well,
Go back and find that old trailer and compare it. I bet you go, you know what? They should have just bleeped all the profanity. It would have been funnier.
kind of like House of the Dead Overkill,
Yeah.
which is still a good game. So we went from that to going back to the original Xbox, and we started playing Halo. I think we did. We actually went to Halo 2, and we just had a ball for that. Like, I didn't leave his house till almost like 1:30 in the morning. Like, we was cracking up. There was one part where my friend one, he had a sniper, and friend two had a sniper, and so they had got into like hiding places, and I didn't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was just trying to run, get a gun so I could shoot them. And what ended up happening, there's a section where there's all these rocks at, and when I got to the rock, I appeared in friends one view, and I seen it. I'm like, let me get back. So I moved back to the rock, but I moved too quick on the other side. Friend two had me in his sight and killed me. And I was just like, really? Y'all gonna really do it like that? And they both cracked up. They were just like, teamwork makes the dream work. And I was just like, really? Really?
The real question is, did you smell what it was cooking? Because you were talking about the rock an awful lot there, motherfucker.
It smelled like Papa John's pizza and Brisk fruit punch.
Yeah. So,
And then
I swear I am the only person that goes back to the original Xbox and doesn't touch Halo games. I've got like a small stable of old Xbox games that I default to if I'm going to play old Xbox stuff, and oddly enough, Halo is not on that list for me.
well, I gave him some of my old games. I still got some more, but I'll probably drop off. And then I let him borrow my PS3 for like 2 weeks because I wouldn't be playing it because of me with my backlog. Since now I'm playing Shadow Mordor for Xbox One, which is a really good game. It takes time to learn. It is very challenging due to the fact that you wish that it was actually Batman Arkham Asylum for some of the fight mechanics, but it's not. So you kind of got to be weary and just not weary in the sense that it's going to do something to you, like make you want to quit the game, but you kind of be aware that you really have to counter, and you really had to press your dodge button at the right time, or you can die and then start leveling up like captains and enemies and stuff. So I've been playing that. I haven't. I've been playing Bravely Second for 3DS, and that's coming along good.
How is it?
It's good. It's not like the first one, but I mean it feels good in this game mechanic. The music and the art style is still wonderful. It's just going to take a little while because you might not like the voice actor for the main character, because they got some weird names in that game. But it's a really good game. I would say it's a game for the summer. Like, I would give it like 4 out of 5 Yoshi coins. For you, you might give it like a $25 rating.
I will tell you, probably I would rate it lower, but it's only on a personal level, just for this. And it's not to knock it, to say, because I hear great things about it, and I wish to God I could still get into them. Something happened around 10 years ago that I can't bring myself to sink the time into RPGs anymore, especially turn-based. I don't know what happened, but just somewhere like a switch flipped, and it went, you no longer have the attention span for this shit. To have fun. I hate that fact, because I know I miss out on some really cool shit, but I look at some of the things that come out and I go, I would love to check this out, but if I buy this, I'm just not gonna play it.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes me sad.
I could understand. My thing is with RPGs, like the Japanese RPGs went to 3DS and went to Atlas. And kind of went to PlayStation Network because they have some real odd Japanese games, RPGs. I think for a lot of Americans, we have, and I'm sad to say this, we have actually been tarnished by westernized RPGs. And, they think that if we give you more of a cinematic open world kind of style game like Skyrim, or World of Warcraft, you're set for life with your RPGs. And to me personally, that's not the case. I could deal with what they offer, even with Fallout 3 or Fallout 4. I had a bit discussion with this with my friends. Be like, can you tell me the story of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4? What is the story and the purpose of this game? Well, there was an apocalypse. Okay, I know that. But what is the game about? Well, it's about you doing this and you don't know. I need to know what the story is. Who's the attack?
It's kind of like, here's the backdrop and now go play.
Right. And it's just, and they could not tell me what the story was to get me interested. And I feel like with a lot of people, they just feel like, well, we're not into the Japanese style of RPGs because we didn't grow up with those kind of games. We like Grand Theft Auto because it has RPG mechanics, because it's open world and I could do what I want to do. We like Minecraft because I could build what I want to build. And it's just like, sometimes if you really want to know what an RPG is, you got to kind of go back to the retro games like Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, probably some PlayStation 1 games. So, even...
I think...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think you just hit on something that occurred to me. I think somewhere right around the tail end of PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era, there was a split that happened where we used to have kind of like RPGs were one cohesive genre. Yes. And right about the end of PS2, beginning of PS3, the split occurred where what happened was the Japanese RPGs drifted one direction, going super fucking Japanese, where we end up, more balls deep in like the weird fucking Persona shit, which I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it, it's very, very Japanese culture-ish versus, we then started having others drift very Western RPG with stuff like,
Mass
like
Effect.
you said, Fallout and Mass Effect and Elder Scrolls. and so it's like one side went real deep one way, and suddenly we had, and it really wasn't there before either. It certainly didn't seem like it, but suddenly the Western RPG started becoming a thing, and it was made by Western companies,
Right.
and it went that way. We lost the middle ground, because the middle ground was kind of like the Japanese trying to make what they maybe thought might work as a Western RPG.
Right.
And we got that middle ground, and it doesn't really exist anymore. It was this split, and there's a big fucking void in the middle, and I think that's part of where I got lost too, because I remember playing and loving some of that middle run stuff, like you said, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, Legend of Dragoon, all that shit, that was in that middle ground, and it's not there anymore. And I think that's part of what drove me away too, as well as just my personal taste and my attention span. I hate to admit it, went out the fucking window, but it's, I'll at least own it. I know that's part of what happened to it.
Well, because of the popularity of Grand Theft Auto 3, we lost RPGs. RPGs was the running staple for PS1, for Nintendo games. And it got, actually, to me personally, I see it this way. It got transferred to the DS and the 3DS. So companies were able to put out tons of RPGs and make more money off of that, where every game, if it wasn't a first-person shooter, it was an open-world game. And and everybody was just like, well, if you was inspired or you love Super Metroid, we got these Metrovania games that you could download and play. And so we got kind of stuck with those three style of games. I mean, there were sports games and there's racing games, and that's a whole different conversation. But I'm like, when it came to wanting to be a protagonist and do something and get a story where you fight and level up and enjoy the experience, those was kind of the only three style of games that you had to choose here in the Western community of gaming. And to me personally, it became sad, because it just felt like this is not going to evolve. This is going to be the same thing over and over. Yes, you're going to code it with different things and allow different things, but it's still going to be an open world GTA style game. Why? Because all the reviewers and journalists are saying it's an open world GTA style game. It's a first person shooter. Why? Because Call of Duty is going to get name dropped in this review, in this preview, or Battlefield's going to get name dropped in this review or preview. Like, there's going to be so many comparisons of the same style of games that we have come to know. And then pretty much when modern consoles and indie games became more visible, the Metroidvania games just started appearing out of everywhere, like out of nowhere, and on almost every platform. It's just like, I love Super Metroid. I love people who feel like they are, inspired by it. But I'm like, you cannot make the same game over and over and put it on a platform where you think that it's going to sell because of the Super Metroid inspired style name. You're not going to sell that way.
I'll tell you, there was one Metroidvania-esque game that came out on the 360 a number of years ago, and it didn't actually review terribly well, which I think is a shame. I think part of that is the fact that it had the stigma of Metroidvania on it, but it was just far enough away from the normal Metroidvania formula that I really enjoyed the experience. It's kind of a fresh experience. And if you haven't played it, I recommend Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet was phenomenal.
I heard about that game.
I loved the art style. I did. I liked the mechanics. It wasn't a platformer. It was a little UFO maze thing. And it was great fun. I adored it. And visually, it was beautiful in its own very unique sort of way. But I loved it. I will be replaying that here at some point in the near future, as I'm going through a back catalog of shit, replaying old games again. And but you know what? As a matter of fact, I just had, because I know we're kind of spitballing this, I want to throw out, because I was just thinking, I want to throw out a segment that, maybe we can pop up occasionally here. I want to talk about the throwback corner. I know you were talking about some of the old Xbox stuff, and I said,
Yes.
this, Halo is not the games that I would go back to on my old Xbox. So I'm going to throw out a couple of throwback titles that are the ones that I go back to.
Before
when
you
we
go.
get into some of the
Before you even say anything, we was talking about The World Is Not Enough on N64. That's how far back we was going for multiplayer.
Really, not GoldenEye.
No, we couldn't get it to go to I. I think The World Is Not Enough was four-player multiplayer, and we just felt better playing that game because there was a snow level on there that we would spend hours and hours. Like we was trying to best each other on by how much we could remember where we were, where the good kill spots were at. Like, and we would just have a ton of fun. We would literally spend a whole night playing that game, like 10 p.m. to like 3 a.m. in the morning on a Friday night. Like that's how good we was so invested in that game.
Nice. So for Throwback Corner, the couple that I want to touch on back on the original Xbox, these are like my 3 or 4 go-tos. I will always go back and I will love and adore and play Phantom Dust. And God damn it, Microsoft, you teased me a couple years ago, then you fucking shit-canned it. You were talking about bringing Phantom Dust back. I was all excited. For those that have not played it or not familiar, this was a little budget game that came out on the original Xbox. It released at a $20 price point, and comparatively at the time, it really did have some AAA production value. Maybe like the low end of AAA, but it really did look good. But what was cool as shit is here was a game that at its core was built like a card game, but it played like an action game. So you would actually, in the hub world, you would go around and talk to people, and there was this place where you would build and fine-tune your decks, and then there were like 5 or 6, maybe by the end 8 arenas that you would go out and play these up to 4-player matches in. You and a teammate versus the enemies on the field. Yes. And at your spawn point, there were like 3 little orbs that would pop up, and those were the cards in your deck popping up. And you could assign one to like each face button on your Xbox controller. So A, B, X, Y. So you had a 4-card hand, and you had all different kinds that did all different stuff, but it played like an action game. And in respect that it was not turn-based, it was actually these really well-done arenas that actually were very destructible. One of my favorites is there's this old abandoned mall, and it's, got the big courtyard, and there's a second floor, with a walkway around it, yes. And then there's a walkway across the middle, and you can actually shoot out the walkway across the middle as somebody's going under it and drop it on their head and deal damage to them. Like, it had these awesome interactive, destructible environments back on the original Xbox, and it was really good. And it was even so much better online. And there was a friend of mine and we used to play online, and we had our decks built specifically for team play. He had his deck stacked with cards that you couldn't actually use them. They were reactionary. So if you had a card on your A button, for example, and somebody hit you with an attack that was assigned to their A button, it would freeze his A button for the rest of the match. He'd stack his whole deck like that, and he would be a little asshole and run around and taunt the other 2 players in the match, screaming at him, cock-juggling thunder cunts, and get them to all hit him and freeze up all their fucking face buttons for the rest of the game so they couldn't do anything. And I'd just come in behind and clean up the mess because they couldn't do anything afterwards.
Wow.
We got very, very well ranked on the leaderboards by the time we hit the worldwide leaderboards for Xbox Live for Phantom Dust. I was very proud of that achievement. But that's one. The other couple of the others.
Before you go,
go.
There was a game on GameCube when it first came out that did almost that same thing. It was a role playing game, and I think it got a sequel. And I have to look it up. And now, hopefully,
Kaidos.
Not Baden Kaitos, no. Even though I still want to play that. I've never got a chance to play Baden Kaitos, and I want to.
Okay.
So Nintendo on NX, you better have GameCube games for downloadable for eShop. I'm pointing at you.
Yeah, we won't know a damn thing about that until at least next year.
Right.
Jesus
But
Christ.
yeah,
We'll talk about that.
There was a role play game that did something almost like that. That was card based. But it was like an action adventure role playing game. Like you fought enemies with cards. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's right. The second one on the original Xbox that I will always jump back to was Advent Rising. Unfortunately, a very troubled development, and it probably could have come out much better with about 6 months more of polish. But what did come out, if you take it for what it is, I really enjoyed. You had a very well-told story written by Orson Scott Card, which I know is very divisive, but for what it's worth, and actually I'm reading through one of his old books at the moment, I know he's kind of loathed as a oh, damn it. Bigot's not the right word. Doesn't like gay people. Very
homophobic.
Christian family value. Yeah, go with that. I'm sorry, the word escaped me. But as someone who's been reading his writings since I was a middle schooler, he may have his personal opinions on that. I've read a fuck ton of his writing, and it's not something that actually seeps into his writing. It's just his personal opinion that he deals with outside of that. So take it for what it is.
Did he do Did he do Shadow
he
Complex?
Wrote the story, yes. He wrote the dialogue that went with Shadow Complex. There are a couple of novels, actually, that go along with Shadow Complex as well. They can be found in Barnes & Noble. Well worth a read. But in any case, yeah. So Advent Rising, this fantastic story, and actually there was a really nice nod to one of his most famous series, the Ender Quartet, in there as well for anyone that's read it, and I won't spoil it, but go out and play it. You can find it at your used mom and pop shop for probably like $3, and it's backwards compatible on the 360. So go out and play it. But it's really cool. It's kind of like the Force Unleashed before the Force Unleashed happened, because you got these awesome fucking powers that you could use. And what was really neat is they had a very competent leveling system where you never actually saw the leveling. It's just the more you used it, the more powerful these powers got.
Yeah.
And it was a dual wield setup too. So, you could, one power here and one power here, or a power and a gun, and whichever way you wanted to juggle it. And it was really fun. I mean, it had some glitchy issues, and it was originally slated to be a trilogy where the choices and decisions that you made in the first game were going to transfer over in your save file to the next, which, they ended up doing with like Mass Effect stuff. But really, Advent Rising kind of set the table for that line of thinking, well before shit like Mass Effect came along. And I really enjoyed it. It's not super long. It's actually really fun. It's kind of glitchy and a little rough around the edges, but go find a copy for $3 and play it and say that you fucking played it, because it was cool.
Because wasn't that the game that was supposed to be having a contest?
There was, as a matter of fact, and due to some issues, the contest fell through. But anybody that actually got in did get a free game of your choice from Majesco, when they were still actually publishing cool shit instead of just like Cooking Mama and cell phone shit.
What you know about Cooking Mama was actually saved Majesco, because a lot of their Psychonauts didn't sell well. The Avid game didn't sell well.
I think Advent Rising was the last one that kind of broke them from getting into big budget stuff.
Yeah,
but which is a shame, because like I said, I liked it. I understand why it didn't do well. Part of why it didn't do well is the fact, like I said, it could have used another 6 months of polish to fix up some of the glitchy issues. But the other thing too is it came out, in the middle of summer in the drought when, nobody's looking or expecting a new game to hit.
Right.
You work in video game retail. Go back about 10 years. Summer was always known as the drought months because nothing ever fucking came out. They were all waiting for fall and shit, and it came out and nobody noticed, and it was a shame because it really could have done good things. there was a future in it that just never got recognized, which is criminal. But the last one I want to touch on for our throwback corner for the old Xbox, for me personally, is and I just blanked. There it is again. Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath.
Yes.
Oh my God, I cannot wait until Lorne Lanning gets back around to doing Stranger's Wrath, because he's apparently revisiting all the fucking Oddworld shit, and this makes me so giddy and happy.
Because he's developing a new one, isn't he? He's working on a new one.
He's working on the new and tasty version of Exodus is what's working at the moment. That's what I've been reading. That's what's going on as I know it right now.
I remember Outward was supposed to be a 5-part series.
Yes.
And I think that got changed, because I think there was supposed to be 5 games with different characters, but I think somehow the story was supposed to connect.
Yeah, it connected sort of, namely through the fact that the Oddworld game all took place on Oddworld. That was the connect, was that world, that planet that he made up in his brilliant fucking mind, and I love it, and I want to kiss his brain, gray wrinkles and all. But in any case, Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath, a unique departure from the previous Oddworld games. You know, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus, which Odyssey was actually the only one that was really one of the numbered games, if you will, of the quintology that he had planned. Everything else was kind of an offshoot. But in any case, no, I take that back. I think Munch was the second. But Stranger's Wrath was a third-person shooter that had the coolest fucking concept for ammo. Was called live ammo, because they were living little critters and they were cool as shit, and you had a double-barreled crossbow. I loved it. It played so well, and it had a great story. It fit with the thematic, concept that Lauren always stuck to with the Oddworld. You know, a lot of, down with big corporate and all this, and, very get in touch with nature kind of thing. But
can I make you happy?
Make me happy.
I still have the copy, physical disc and everything.
So, but yeah, I mean, you saw the little critters loaded in your double barrel crossbow, and they would sit there and kind of like jitter and talk and gibberish, and it was awesome. And they did great things. There was a unique variety of options, not in weapons but in ammo and what it did, and it was really cool. And it was beautiful as shit, and god damn it needs to get a digital re-release on Xbox somewhere, but there were problems with that due to restrictions on the fact that it didn't sell all that great on the original Xbox when it came out, and so there was the digital re-release on the PlayStation side, but it never saw light again on the Xbox side, which is really kind of a fucking shame, considering there were so many of the Xbox originals that, were released on 360 for digital download, like Beyond Good and Evil, which I think is one of the last ones to download on my queue. But in any case, those are some of my go-to staples for the original Xbox, not Halo. And that's... There it is, my odd taste in games.
So while you did Xbox, can I add to this throwback corner? I owned the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox, and the GameCube around that era. And one of my throwbacks is mostly on the GameCube. So Tales of Symphonia was my automatic throwback for role-playing games. I enjoyed the music, the artwork. It kind of got the Tales series back to... Actually, I feel like, personally for me, it actually got the Tales series actually noticed more here in America, because Tales of Symphonia is a beautiful game. It's available for PlayStation 3 if you haven't tried it. Great game. Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 was my go-to for GameCube. Of course, The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker. Metroid Prime. It's just like I don't want to let that game go. Like when I put it in,
shouldn't.
I put that game on, and hugged it. And I was just like, I want this so bad. Like, literally want it so bad. Another one was Eternal Darkness, of course. That gave me
I
my
was playing
spooks.
that a couple months ago.
Yes, and I have not beaten that game, and I need to. I really do need to.
I'm in the same boat as you, actually. And while we're at a moment here, check your chat box.
Oh, okay. Mario Kart Double Dash. I know everybody loves Mario Kart 8, loves just the Mario Kart series. Double Dash is my best. It will always be my best because there's nothing like switching two players out. The drifting is easy. Popping folks with the red shell in Mario Kart Double Dash was the best. And it's still, like, it just controls so well with the GameCube controller.
I couldn't get into Double Dash.
Oh.
I just that was my ugly duckling of the series. Actually, was Double Dash.
Okay. Well, then we're going to take a break at this moment, so we will be right back.
Hang tight. I got to run upstairs for just a second and tend to something. I'll be right back.
All right. So, everybody, why we take a quick break. Just want to let you guys know that we haven't did the Super Smash Brothers episode yet. That will be coming soon. We're just waiting to get more time to you listeners and to Adrian and to Larry. And the question is that you're able to work with Nintendo to make a Smash Brother arcade game. And you have 36 characters to put into the game. Unfortunately, 4 of those characters have to be Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, or Toadstool, whatever you prefer, and Bowser or King Koopa, whatever you prefer for that. So those 4 are already there. Then you could pick from any video game. It could be on a different platform, like PlayStation, Sony, Microsoft, or PC. You can pick any character you want. They gave you free reign, and all the other companies were cool to work with it to be in a big game like that. So you have 32 characters to pick from. So you have actually 8 titles. Now this is the thing. If you pick a title, you have to pick 4 characters from that title. So, if you pick Mega Man, you probably will pick Mega Man, Cutman, Electric Man, and maybe Dr. Wily. But it has to be 4 characters from that particular game. It could be from that universe also if you want to. So when you guys get that, you can email the show at world101podcast@gmail.com. That's WORLD11podcast@gmail.com.
What are you talking to?
I'm talking to myself and our listeners.
Okay.
So we are back. You
re-hit the record button, right?
Yes, we're good to go.
Okay. We're not talking nothing, right? It's not going to be half a show that just we talked and it didn't record, and we're just going to look stupid.
Well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, actually getting back to the throwback corner, before we move on to our last part of the show, which will probably be about the delays of the future games coming up, and probably rant a little bit more. My last game for the GameCube will always be Super Mario Sunshine. It's something great about the music. The graphics are still amazing. I love the color. I love the challenge, the water in that game. I want to say The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess also, but it was better on. It's really better on Wii U. I do recommend playing that game on Wii U. It was good.
That was my preference too.
Yeah, it was good on GameCube and it was good on Wii because I own both versions. But it's better on Wii U. Same as The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. It's gorgeous, very gorgeous game. For PlayStation 2, real quick, I just got to nominate Okami. Just
yes.
I have to nominate Okami for one of the best games on the PlayStation 2 platform. It surpasses everything that I expected. You know, of
Okami
course,
was the Zelda game that did Zelda better than Zelda.
well, that's until Wind Waker came out, and then
No. Okami was post Wind Waker.
I don't think
Wind Waker came first.
did it.
It did. Okami was late PS2. Wind Waker was
Oh.
early Cube. But no, I honestly, I think that Okami was the better Zelda game. Instead of trying to move forward and change Zelda, it took a lateral sidestep
Mhm.
and just went way deeper. And it it took the Zelda foundation essentially of, gaining powers and dungeons and all that. And it actually, for the first time in Zelda, history, it went, here you go, here's a Zelda game, but with an actual new story. And it told a great story at that. The
Yes,
story was amazing.
I think the two things that Okami and Wind Waker did so well was they used what the art style that they choose. Like no one did it better. Like you don't even see Okami's art style in any other
Oh,
game.
That very painterly rice paper.
You don't
yeah.
Oh, when I seen the trailer, my mouth was on the floor. I literally went to GameStop when they said that the game was available for pre-order. I was maybe the first and only person in my area to do that. Like I had to have that game because, of course, I love Japanese like culture. I love stuff like that. But there was just something different about Okami, like freezing the screen and drawing a painting and hearing how the music reminds me of Legend of the Mystical Ninja for the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And not only was it remind me of that, like the game was whimsical, was funny. I love the fact that they used the 12 animals.
The humor was adorable.
Oh yes, and it's an all around amazing game. It's available for PlayStation 3. I have it. It looks. If you thought it looked beautiful on PlayStation 2,
It's also out on the Wii as well.
yes, it's also on the Wii. Also, yes.
Which, if you want to giggle, go find a hard copy on the Wii with the case and the actual insert. 'Cause if you find the original case, you will find that apparently Capcom could not be fucked to use their own artwork, and they actually jacked their case artwork from IGN because you can see the IGN watermark on the case artwork of the Wii version, and that shit will forever make me laugh.
Oh, that. There was another game that came out recently. Dead Rising. No, not Dead Rising. Dead Island. The HD one, the remaster. They were putting quotes on the box that no one didn't even say. And people were just like, where did they get these quotes from? Didn't nobody say this about the game? And I cracked up. I'm like, are you serious? I didn't even pay attention to that. I was like, oh my goodness, they put quotes on the on their own game that no one ever said. I'm like, wow. Like there'd be a quote, but no one's be like, this game is fantastic, definitely HD dash GameSpot. It would be like, that's for example. They didn't even have that. I was just like, oh my goodness. So yeah.
So real quick before we jump out of this, I want to use this and I want to step back about 2 steps and link to something you said real quick. And I will post pictures on the Facebook page so you guys can check this shit out. And I will stick a link in the comments, or I'll send it to you actually to put when you post this week's episode on Friday. But I know you were talking about Metroid Prime on the GameCube. So today, very, very excited. I was telling Eddie earlier, my chairs from Fandom Furniture came in, and I gave them. And let me tell you a little bit about these guys. They're dear friends of mine. They're very fucking cool. They will take your old furniture that you give them and say, I want to take this old table and I want to make it a Pokemon table or a Mario table or whatever the fuck you want to do, or Harry Potter or whatever the hell is your thing. So I had these 3 chairs from a dining room set that's, the 3 chairs are all I have left at the set at this point. And I thought, the fuck am I going to do with 3 chairs? And it hit me. I asked him, I said, so can you take these 3 chairs? I want each chair to be one of the planets from Metroid Prime 3. And oh my God, they came. They were delivered today. They were brought to me. They were fucking amazing.
Oh,
One chair
yes.
is all themed out to Rio. And like you said, I'll post pictures, but I right now I want to talk about them for a minute. The seat on the Brio chair has like the cliff face and the golem from the landing site, hanging out of the cliff face, and on the back slats of the chair, they used it to represent like the fuel gel, that orangey molten kind of craggy thing going on, which was the other half of Rio. And then the Skytown chair, the Elysia chair, on the seat, they did like the big spiral kind of pattern from the landing site from when you first hit touchdown ground on Skytown. On the back slats, you can see the floating pods and the zip lines connecting them and shit. And it's really cool, beautifully done, gray sky in the background. But oh my God, the one that apparently took the longest, I was talking to her today because she brought them to me. They're, like I said, they're friends. They live close, but they're looking to branch. So I will make sure that there's a link posted on this post. But the Pirate Homeworld, oh my God, it's so pretty. It's
yes.
that burnt orange sky, but oh my God, like the acid rain orange, like highlights, in there just have this great pop. And, you can see like this big swath of Phazon, on the seat. And then on the back slats, you can see like one of the outdoor scenes where there was the acid rain coming down, and you can see like the neon orange pipes that you could morph all through, and the door in the background. And oh my God, it's so fucking pretty. These guys are amazing. Check them out. Fandom Furniture, Facebook.com/Fandom Furniture. Get a hold of them. They're wonderful, wonderful people. They do such cool shit. I will post pictures, and I will have to take better pictures to post other than the ones that I just sent you. But you guys need to check this shit out. And like I said, if you're looking for something really unique and cool as shit, you need to get in touch with these guys. I'm sorry, this is the odd advertisement that I will throw out, but the work they do is very cool. Like I said, it's just a couple together that do this for fun and for some side cash, but they do it because they love it and they do such cool shit. Beautiful, beautiful finished product. I can't say enough awesome things about the chairs that I'm staring at in my theater room because it's so pretty. It gives me a throbbing erection and it makes me happy.
I swear the details on this chair, when you look at the picture, is drop dead gorgeous, so spot on. You would be like, how did you get this on the chair? Like
even the legs.
Yes.
The purple and blue and gray and orange from her suit from Corruption to tie them thematically together.
It looks phenomenal. Fantastic. Yes.
I will post pictures, and I will make Eddie post a link to their Facebook page so you can check them out. But yeah, Fandom Furniture, I don't normally throw out, endorsements or advertisements, in the whole, 10 episodes that we've recorded. But, that being said, I promised them for the amazing work they did, I would give them a shout out. But yeah, if you want something unique and cool, you need to check it out. Speaking of shout outs, by the way, shout out to the really cool dude that I met at Hanayori a couple weeks ago, the night before we went to the movies. So I know he jumped onto the Facebook page. So if you're listening to this, shout out to you. I had a great time chatting with you at dinner.
Awesome. So our last part, we're going to be talking about.
It's not going to be the last part because we've got one other that I want to bring up with you. We talked about this.
Oh,
and I'm going to talk about it.
Here's the pitch.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
Of course, we're going to end with that. Trust me, I wrote a little notes and it feels like here's the pitch. So we will get to here's the pitch, and that's going to be the last section after this last discussion part.
This is not bad for spitballing this shit.
Well, that is true. Like I say, it's a random show. This would actually be if we
I
was
think
going.
we need to do this more.
If
This
we
is
was
working for us.
if we was actually going through like the Mario level layout, because 8-4 would be the last 32. That would be a game. This would be World 3-2. So, but we're going to talk about this last discussion. Then we're going to do Here's the Pitch, another new segment. Of course, E3 is next week. There's been a lot of reveals, a lot of leaks and stuff coming out. I'm so giddy that Final Fantasy 12 is coming out. It's getting an HD remaster that everybody wanted, but it's coming to 2017 in Japan at the moment. It's not coming here just yet, but we'll probably get it later.
I say it'll get here. There's no way it fucking doesn't. It will come.
Watch Dogs 2 has kind of been rumored for November, and it's a possibility that it will be on NX. We don't know yet, but
Part of me is very surprised to hear that, actually.
yeah.
It's not that I'm sad to hear that. I'm just fucking surprised.
Yeah, I am too. So, like I said, it's a rumor because they said a will they or will not DLC exclusives for NX version. We shall see if it comes out for NX. We don't know yet.
We won't know till next year.
Yeah. The controversy following No Man's Sky, because it got delayed until August. They want to spend more time polishing the game, which I feel like is fine. It's only 2 months. But the creator got...
I'm not calling it controversy anymore. I'm calling that par for the course with No Man's Sky. But it looks pretty enough that I don't care at this point.
Right. And, the man got death threats from people because he delayed the game. And I'm just like, they're trying to make the game better. Like, we flipped out and got mad because Zelda U was coming out next year. But we didn't, there was no death threats or anything for that. Persona 5.
You know what? This is the childish fucking behavior that resulted in the Phil Fish phenomenon. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, do not take another person that's making something that we like and make them hate everyone. Because that's what you people did. Maybe not the people listening here, all 3 of you, and we love you people. Please keep listening and, maybe tell another 3 people, and maybe we'll have 9 people next week. But in any case, this is exactly what the fuck happened to Phil Fish, that he quit. And you sons of bitches that did this, you are the fucking reason that I don't have Fez 2, and I hate you. Do not do this to another person that's making something that I want and I want to like, because that's exactly what's going to happen. So for God's sake, stop being childish. Grow up. He delayed a game for a couple months because he wants to make something pretty for you. Don't be pissy babies. That's my tirade. I'm done.
And I'm fine with him delaying the game because I'm just like, oh, well, good. That to me personally, that gives me more time to play Tokyo Mirage Session, Mighty Number 9. Kirby, maybe I'll finally pick up Doom. Like, it gives me time to pick up other games to play because there's not much in August that I'm looking forward to. So No Man's Sky being a big game in August, that's great because that means not, it's almost the end of summer. Kids are about to go to school. Why not have a big game to be like, before I go to school, let me get into a game that, I could spend more time and dedicate playing. And, I'll have the whole month with this game to myself, and then, bam, I could go to school for it, if you're a kid. So I think, August is a good thing. Horizon Red Dawn is coming out in February of 2017. Of course, Zelda U, Persona 5. Just like the first 3, those 3 games alone for the first half of 2017 makes me so happy to be a gamer. Like, I'm kind of complete. Of course, we got the NX coming out in March also. Even though it's been rumored that it's been delayed to add VR, I highly doubt that, but we shall see.
I think we'll see NX in at least the first half of 2017,
Yeah.
maybe the first fiscal half of 2017. But at this point, I really don't think I think they've got a game plan that involves releasing it outside of the back half of the year, and certainly outside of the holiday window. I think what they want is for their system to come out and get a little time to, kind of settle in, get that big boom of the first week or two sales,
Right.
and let it settle and slowly build a little bit of a library, over the next few months, instead of what normally happens when you launch a system in the middle of fucking holiday and you get that burst of, launch games in the first 3-4 weeks, and then after that there's like nothing worth fucking playing for 4 months. I think they want to get that 4-month window out of the way so that there's now suddenly a slew of really cool shit hitting right at holiday, so
Right.
that everyone that already has it suddenly is having things to play again, and those that have not are looking at it going, okay, here's the launch games. These are the 2 or 3 that were really good out of there. I've got something to start with. And then now there's this new shit that's coming out all at the same time to get really fucking excited about for Black Friday and beyond. I can see that making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So,
I know that PlayStation VR now, because of those big games being moved to 2017, has a lot to prove. Now, I'm just saying that this is a big advantage for Sony with PlayStation 4.5 of that be released, also with the PlayStation VR, also with Xbox being released with their slim version of their system, or like remastered, or whatever you want to call it. It's good for those businesses to actually get some sales going, because if PlayStation VR does not sell, but the other systems do, that's going to be a problem, because we now really don't have anything to look forward to this holiday season besides Final Fantasy 15, besides Call of Duty, besides Battlefield if that comes out, besides some sports games, besides Paper Mario Color Splash, besides some 3DS games. Just like, what is going to be the game for the holiday season to get? And if PlayStation VR is not hitting its stride, if their games are just like, okay, we're charging you $40 or $50 for a 3 to 5 hour experience, that's going to be a major problem.
it'll be a major problem if it isn't worth the $40 or $50. Like I said, value of a game is a very subjective thing. We'll throw back to years ago when Left 4 Dead came out, and people bitched. It's like, I paid $60 for this, and there's only like 5 stages and blah. It's like, yeah, but these things are like infinitely fucking replayable. You were playing this shit for months upon months upon months after release.
Right.
You're telling me you didn't get your fucking $60 worth out of it? I'm pretty sure you fucking did. Otherwise, you'd have put it down a week after it came out. Then you'd have a right to bitch.
And then you went out and bought part 2 and was hoping that part 3 would come out.
Yeah, like I said, the sad realization I had last time we recorded, we will never see Left 4 Dead 3 or Portal 3 or, Half-Life 3 because Valve can't fucking count to 3.
Valve is a whole different thing. So I feel like with this E3, they're going to have to prove what's coming for the holiday season. Just for me personally, for Microsoft and for Sony. Nintendo really doesn't have to do much because I feel like their E3 was in February when they had the Nintendo Direct. What they showed
we
me.
did find out that Nintendo is going to be doing some other things because,
Right.
Here we thought it was just going to be this fucking vast wasteland of nothing but Zelda and, one of a couple things happening because they said that the only thing playable that we're going to bring to E3 this year is the new Zelda, and it's not even fucking coming out this year. We did find out that they just released news that, Zelda will still be the only playable thing. It's not going to be the only thing that they're showing.
Yes.
They did reveal that they're going to be talking about, Tokyo Mirage Session, Sharp FE, whatever the hell it's called, because that title is ridiculous and it needs to be shortened.
You said it right.
I know, but it's still a mouthful, and I shouldn't have to take that long to say the title of a goddamn game. But, also going to be looking at a little bit of Pokemon. What is it? Sun and Moon now?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck the new ones is. Yeah.
Sun and Moon.
Is that coming out this year, or is that 2017?
Yeah, that's November.
Yeah, there you go. There's a good big boom for Nintendo. It'd be nice if they had a nice swan song for the Wii U, for the holiday as well, but that's not going to fucking happen. I'm a little surprised that given the fact that it's going to be coming in August and E3 is just next week, and I've not seen them do much of anything to promote it, even though it's had some issues in terms of reception.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm surprised they're not talking about Federation Force, or not showing it even, let alone letting it be playable, because this is something that got a very, very rough reception.
Right.
And they're trying very hard to say, no, please don't judge until you see the finished product. And we've got to be on top of the finished product by now. This is coming out in 2 fucking months, and it's like, you're not going to show it? Normally their advertising window is about 2 to 3 months before a game comes out.
Right.
They don't really do much of anything until then, and then they blast all the advertising. We're in that window now. They're not talking about it, and it's very curious. That's a very strange thing. Again, I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that I think they just do Metroid because they feel obligated to at some point on occasion, but, not that they actually want to, or that they even want it to succeed. So fuck you, Nintendo. But, I'd be happy, prove me wrong. But in any case, I'm shocked that that's not getting more play or view push.
I think it's fine, because when they showed the Direct in February and we got to talk about it, I think we all just stopped talking about it, stopped having worries about it. I know there's still some people who already made up their mind about it.
I haven't made up my mind, but I still have concerns that need to be allayed here, and now is the time to start fucking doing it.
I know for me, I just feel like, you guys work on it. If you do need to delay it, go ahead and delay it. Just do what you need to do to get it right, because, it's one of those games that we need to release this to prove everybody, to show what we were going for with this game. Like, I'm already sold. I told them that I was just like, it's a Metroid style game. It looks cool. It's on the 3DS. I could carry it on the go. So, it's something I'm definitely going to get because I want to play it. And I'd rather play it for myself and make my own judgment whether I like it or not than have people complaining about it. I don't want to complain, and I'm not going to complain. I'm in 100% full support that I'm going to pick it up and buy it. Like, I would play that more over than playing Horizon Red Dawn. Like, if both games came out, I would get both, but I would probably play Metroid Prime Federation Force first before I play Red Dawn. Horizon. And that's not a diss to Sony and that game, but I seen that when I seen that first trailer for Horizon Red Dawn, I was just like, why? Why are you guys doing this? This intro doesn't make sense to reflect on what's going on with the game is about. I'm like, they could have cut like that first part off it. But with Metro Prime Federation Force, I'm like, oh, this kind of looks cool. I'm kind of interested in that. Let me play this. Let me see what's up.
Speaking of related content thing, just out last week, on Virtual Console on the Wii U, because they're doing DS games. Metroid Prime Hunters just released on Virtual Console for a whopping $10, and I will grant you the single player is not spectacular. There's some nifty things there that are worth getting into. Frankly, I think that game was one of the biggest proponents for the most forgotten accessory for the original DS, which was the thumb stylus. I thought was fucking brilliant, but I'm not going to get into that. But unfortunately, with the way that they're doing DS games on the Wii U, the online multiplayer component is no longer there, which, that was a really big thing for Hunters, and it was really enjoyable. However, and I can't vouch for it yet because I've had my Wii U unhooked for a couple weeks, but I'm going to hook it up and download it, and I'm going to check it out. But as I recall, there was a practice mode of sorts in Hunters where you could go and play the multiplayer, game, but just with bots of varying degrees of difficulty. And it was still actually fun to go in and play, even in that manner, because the multiplayer was pretty sharp, even if you were just playing against the computer at the time. There was some really neat shit in there. There was a great variety of characters with a neat assortment of powers. I think if I try really hard, I think I can actually still name the 6 hunters off the top of my head from so fucking long ago. There was Trace and Silex and Weevil and Spire. I'm missing 2, but you know what? 4 out of 6 from how many years ago is not bad. I'll take it.
Right.
But I'll be revisiting that actually probably in the next week or 2, just to see, it'd be nice to kind of pop it up on a big screen for one, which is nifty. And, but no, it's worth revisiting. It's a whole $10, check it out. At the time, it was at least visually kind of cutting edge, and it always made me wonder why we never saw more, maybe even like a scaled down port of sorts. It made me think there was hope to see some kind of scaled down, port of Metroid Prime on the DS. And now with everything that they're porting onto the 3DS,
Yes.
Oh my God, it's GameCube. Why can I not have Metroid Prime on my 3DS to stuff in my pocket? Because, oh my God, it would be awesome as shit. We can port full Wii U games to the 3DS. I can have a Metroid Prime game on 3DS, damn it. Even if it's a new 3DS only exclusive, I'll take it. I will buy your fucking upgrade for that. Actually, I'm going to buy it anyways because you guys have Super Nintendo games. God damn it. But
I just want my Super Mario Sunshine Nintendo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that too. But there are things that we could be having on the new 3DS, and it's not there yet. And I'm always surprised at this. That's the other thing too. Again, we're getting the 64 all over again. We're going a full console generation without seeing a Metroid game on the console. Federation Force is the closest that we're going to get to any Metroid game, one side or the other, console or handheld. And even then, we're not getting a mainline Metroid game this generation period. We're getting this weird, funky offshoot thing. And that's it. And that's so bizarre to me because, the last time this happened was the 64. We at least snuck one out on the Wii. And then we did 2 on the Wii. And then we got the compilation. We had 2 on the GameCube. Mm-hmm. I'm not even asking you guys for 2. Just give me one main line. I don't care if it's a 2D side scroll. Actually, that would make me really fucking happy on the 3DS. Please do get on that. I want a 2D side scroll on the 3DS that's got some nice, sweet depth to it, and I would really love. I'm sorry, anybody that's ever played Super Metroid, go to the scene in fucking Meridia where you power bomb the glass tube, and tell me that should not be in 3D. You can literally see the layers. The work is already done. Just pull it apart. Make it
Preach. Yes.
That's a game that needs to fucking be in 3D. I would pay, I know they're doing the Super Nintendo stuff on Virtual Console now, but I've been saying since the 3DS came out, I would pay $30 to $40 a pop for a 3D rendered, line of Super Nintendo games like what they did with the NES stuff back on the GBA. When they had the Game Boy, the NES Classics line that came out in the nice, Nintendo-inspired Game Boy Advance packaging.
Yes.
That looked cool as shit. Do that on the 3DS with Super Nintendo stuff, but that's not going to happen anymore because now we have Virtual Console on new 3DS, and that killed the dream. But honestly, I would be paying, $30 to $40 a pop for an old Super Nintendo game, the stuff that was at the time 2.5D, where there was layers already done. You just had to apply depth to it. And I'm gesticulating way too much and you people can't see it, which is probably not a bad thing because I'm a fuzzy fucking man beast. But in any case, these are things that you literally could see the layers and go, that's the furthest back, that's the second furthest back, that's the third furthest back, this is the main, and then there's one in front of me, shit like that. Oh my God, as a matter of fact, perfect example, it's the same generation. Go play the 3D version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 that's on the 3DS.
Yes.
Why were you not doing that with your own games, Nintendo? Sorry. Again, that's my tirade. I'm done again. I'll shut the hell up.
No, you can't shut up because right now we're on our final section, and here's the pitch, our new segment, and we're going to give it the mic over back to Larry. Larry, what pitch do you have?
So here's the pitch is this brainchild of mine because I really wish our Connexican was here because, he's the person that's actually fucking making games. That's the person I need to be talking to. Damn it, Adrian! Stop chugging maple syrup and get on. But in any case, so I wanted to take this opportunity to start this segment. Here's the pitch. And, I myself am going to throw it out, and I'm sure that if, Eddie and Adrian, if he ever shows the hell up again, will, have some other sort of game pitches to throw out. But here's my weird little fucking fever dream game pitch. I am this throws back to a deep 16-bit love of Vector Man. But it's going to sound totally stupid. It came to me in a dream. It's called Bushwhacked. And it's about a shrubbery, an anthropomorphized fucking shrubbery. He is the hero. And he gets his power-ups by running into floating little garden shears. I'm talking full-on 2D side-scroll platformer awesome, like Vector Man, But he gets to the garden shears, and the garden shears fly around him, and when they're done, he suddenly comes out, a shrubbery shaped like a different thing, and whatever thing he's shaped like is the power that he imbues to help him through this part of the stage, and he's trying to be whacked by the gardening crew for the grounds here, the groundskeepers, and they're all a ridiculous fucking spoof of Italian mobsters, so they're trying to whack him. So you have Bushwhacked. This is my ridiculous idea. It literally came to me in a dream, and I so want to see a groundskeeper with that thick, ridiculous Italian mafia accent. No, I want him whacked. I want him whacked tonight. I want him whacked. I want his family whacked. Somebody better whack this motherfucker. So it needs to have that feel. I want to see groundskeepers sitting in an Italian restaurant in a corner booth in a cutscene somewhere. This is part of the setup, and they've got it out for this little anthropomorphized fucking shrub. But it has to be called Bushwhacked.
And everybody,
and the shrub is fucking Australian.
And everybody, that was the pitch.
Oh
my
God.
goodness.
I promise you, I actually have some other really well thought out cool shit that I will bring to Here's the Pitch. I've told them before, I have a very well thought out what should be the amiibo game for the Wii U that has not fucking happened yet. I have it in my head. It's really fucking cool. I will bring it up. If nobody has anything, I will talk about it next week. And then refresh me if I'm not mistaken, not next week, but the week after is going to be our first of hopefully many to come themed episodes. We're talking about futuristic racers. So we're picking a topic and we're running with it for the whole fucking episode. But yeah, futuristic racers. I will leave a post up on the Facebook page. Share your memories, your thoughts, hopes and dreams for a what is becoming a long lost genre that makes me tragically sad. But things like the big ones obviously are F-Zero and Wipeout, but there are some others in there that I will save for that show, but just to kind of get the ball rolling. So yeah, that's something to look forward to in a couple of weeks. We would love to hear some of your fond memories of these things. So leave some comments or questions, anything of the like, on that post, and we will get to them on the air when we do that episode. And it is 2 weeks, right?
Yes, within 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay, I haven't lost my nut then. Cool. But yeah, so that's a thing that's coming to in the future. Look, we actually did plan a thing. We just planned it further out than this episode.
Yay.
So, ta-da.
So, and you guys could email your thoughts, comments at world11podcast@gmail.com. That's WORLD11 podcast at gmail.com. If you guys have a pitch, you can email us that. The Smash Arcade question is still available, so I can't wait to get some responses for that to hear what you guys think. 36 characters.
Put that on a post on the Facebook page, damn it.
And yes. Oh, the Facebook page is World 101 Podcast. Just search for that and send a request. And hopefully we be able to accept you and you're good to go and you talk games with us. You can hear this show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, along with my other podcast, Optional Opinion, which will be coming soon, talking about E3 games. Actually, today, when you guys listen to it, you guys gonna hear my E3 predictions and games that were that's haven't been announced, but kind of being rumored and what we think of what the show is going to be like. And then next week, for Optional Opinion, I'm going to be doing a lot of podcasts, doing some reactions on the announcements and the conferences that goes on throughout that week. So do please tune in to that. Our fellow Adrian Nieto wasn't able to make it, but hopefully he can next time, because he went to a convention, and I would love to hear how that all
Fucking
went.
maple chugger.
But with that, everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. If you don't listen to this on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, if you miss, I completely missed the weekend.
And because Eddie forgot, I'm actually in a new place again, or back in an old place. I am out there on Facebook. Larry is always right, giver. I'm also now back on Xbox Live. I'm not playing multiplayer or anything, but hit me up. You'll find me there. Megatron0016. Yes, it's an old gamer tag, but it's still there. Get over it. But I do exist on Xbox Live again. I'm there. So, and maybe if I find the right person and the right game combination, I will have an inkling to pay for Xbox Live to play online with people. Things like Castle Crashers make me happy, people. I will still go back and play that shit. That and oddly, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. I'll get down on that shit again too.
Yeah, and you can follow me on Twitter at thatretrocode, ThatRetrocode, where I talk games, sarcastic stuff, and other weird things, food, and weird random quotes that other people say. I talked about how I'm two piece in the biscuit away from doing the dance that the salesman does from Secret of Mana, because the music started playing in my mind. I'm just like, I just want to twirl like him. Also, Odin Sphere came out. It was a remake for.
Oh, that's right.
That came out, and yes. And the last thing I want to say before we go, there's a game called I Am Setsuna. Please check out the trailer. Listen to the music. It's by Square Enix. It's supposed to be, I think, out in August. Beautiful game. Beautiful. Music is phenomenal. So do check that out. Anything else, Larry?
Yeah. You see that bush? I want that fucking bush whacked. I want the bush whacked. I want his whole fucking family whacked. I want his fucking friends whacked. I want them all fucking whacked. Bush whacked.
And with that, everybody, we are out. Bye.
Peace.